Very, very interesting news. Well, I have to ask you, what's better than a day at the races? Well, a day at the polo, of course. This past weekend, it was the annual Inanda Africa Cup Polo at the Inanda Club in Sandton, where the young and the glamorous meet the exhilarating sport of polo. Our very own Polo was there for all the action.
The Inanda Africa Cup Polo has to be one of the biggest events on the Joburg social calendar, and it's not surprising why, with so many players coming from across the African continent to compete in this prestigious tournament. But of course, it's not just about that. We look forward to all the glitz and the glamour from the who's who of the entertainment world and our favorite celebrities. I must admit though, it is my first time here, so I'm definitely excited to see what's in store and of course, learn more about the sport. With me is the polo manager at the Inanda Club, Craig. Craig, can you just tell me how and when did this tournament come about?
So, thanks for having us on the show. The Africa Cup has been around for many, many years. It's been around for about 25 years. Only in the last sort of 5 or 6 years have we seen it gain major traction on the social calendar in Johannesburg. And this has been with the great help of sponsors like Land Rover, and this year and for the next few years, the title sponsor is the Cell C team. Because of these guys, we've actually put it on the map. And the event is growing from strength to strength every year. We're seeing more and more African countries wanting to come and participate.
Talk to me about the teams competing today.
Today we will have Team STL, which is a team from Nigeria. They hail from Lagos. We have a side called the Ghana Polistas. They are from Accra in Ghana. We have a side called Titan Law Zimbabwe. And then we had the Cell C side, which had players from Kenya and Nigeria.
How would you say the event has gotten bigger and better over the years?
A major part of how this event has evolved is having all these African countries participate, adding to the flair, adding to the color, adding to the flavor of the event, growing the industry not only for Inanda, but growing it on a whole for South African polo, because it supports the renting of horses and professional players in all of these teams.
Tell me, what goes into the planning and putting together an event of this magnitude?
It's an amazing amount of planning that goes into it. And if you think about it, over 6 days, we've got 14 teams competing. In each team, there are 4 players. Each player has 5, maybe 6 ponies that they need. There's an incredible amount of planning. And that's just for the players. Never mind the social event of it, the food, the glamour of the fashion. Even a club event of this nature takes an enormous amount of planning.
I must say the main focal point of any horse-related event has to be the fashion. This year's theme for the polo was Africa Beats, and I must admit I was definitely not disappointed by the interpretation.
The people that are out here today have interpreted the theme in a way that is unpredictable. What I see today is people wearing prints, wearing African designers, not just South African designers.
Oh, Lala, you have some familiarity with polo, the sport. Tell me more about that.
Well, I think the familiarity is more with the horses. I've been obsessed with horses since I was just a little child, so when they approached me to come and MC, I couldn't resist. I was super excited. And here we are, celebrating this beautiful sport here in Africa.
And you are looking absolutely gorgeous. Tell me, how did you interpret the theme Africa Beats in your outfit today?
Well, you know, I love the theme, anything to do with Africa. You know, a celebration of our culture, of our country is just such a pleasure, especially when we express it in fashion. And I went to Kosi, who designed this beautiful garment. And so we came up with this idea where we wanted to show a little bit of leg, but not too much, hence the pants with a bit of a slit. And the creative, like, frills, you know, just, I think, topped it off.
My interpretation of African Beats this year was to take a sober design piece, which in my eyes was partly, I see it as a vintage Xhosa inspired, but with a touch of modernity. So that's how I interpreted it.
Well, how I interpreted it was to not be too literal about it. That's why I just added the West African hat and I tailor-made suit. So just a bit of like European and mix it with some African, yeah.
Today I kind of picked items that represent designers from across the continent that I have in my wardrobe, and I guess I was lucky in that this is what I have and this is what I wear.
For me, Africa is about color, it's about boldness, and it's about beads. As you can see, it's about our plants, as you can see, and it's earthy, so the color went with that, and I just brought a twist of my Shangaan head wrap.
So much fun was had here today, from the entertainment to the food and of course all the wonderful and beautiful people dressed to the nines. Come 2019, trust me, I'll definitely be back here again.